Are the recently leaked iPhone 12 prices too good to be true? Let's talk about it. Hey guys, Manav here, and welcome to Tech Nobody's Talking About, where I talk about features in smartphones that nobody else is mentioning. Make sure to like and subscribe. So recently, John Prosser from Front Page Tech leaked the prices for the iPhone 12 series, with the iPhone 12 starting at $649, the iPhone 12 Max starting at $749, and the iPhone 12 Pro and iPhone 12 Pro Max remaining at the current iPhone 11 Pro prices at $1,000 and $1,100 respectively. Now, I find this very unrealistic, as this iPhone series is bringing several changes, including major design changes as well. And as we've seen in history, with major design changes, such as the iPhone X, iPhones have received a major price hike as well. So keeping the prices consistent, and in some cases even lowering them, seems quite unrealistic. So I believe that the prices will quite likely increase for the iPhone 12 series. However, if Apple manages to pull this off and keep the prices the same or even lower, this will make iPhones very competitive in the smartphone marketplace, since all Android phones are consistently raising their prices. Let's talk more about this. So the main reason I think that the iPhone prices leaked are unrealistic is because the iPhone 12 series is bringing many new features to the iPhones. This includes new design changes, 5G, and also OLED displays to the lower models. As we've seen this year, many Android phones have had their prices hiked up significantly because of 5G, since phones such as the Samsung Galaxy S20 and OnePlus 8 Pro have had the Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 chipset, and that has made 5G mandatory, which has caused the prices of these phones to increase. So how Apple is managing to keep the prices so low while including 5G and also OLED displays, which is the upgrade from their iPhone 11 to the lower end models, I don't understand how they're going to keep the prices so low. Because last year, the price of the iPhone 11 was $700, and now the equivalent phone that's going to have OLED and 5G is said to be only $750, an increase of only $50. So unless they're reducing their profit margins, I don't see how the prices could be this low. Another reason I think these prices are unrealistic is because of the inclusion of OLED displays on the lower end iPhone 12 models. Last year, we had the iPhone 11 for $700, which had an LCD display and also didn't have 5G. And this year, according to the leaks, there's going to be an iPhone 12 model at $649 and a larger iPhone 12 model at $749, which are both going to have OLED displays and also 5G. One's going to be $50 cheaper than the last model, and this second model is going to be $50 more expensive. But with only $50, we're getting an OLED display and 5G. This seems unrealistic to me. One point was that Apple was going to get cheaper OLED displays from a different supplier other than Samsung, and this supplier was called BOE. However, according to recent news articles, BOE has failed the display tests of Apple, so they aren't going to use them anymore, which means they're going to have to turn to Samsung or LG, which are going to be more expensive. Now, this might cause the prices of the iPhones to increase, and we'll just have to see on the final day. So the 5G and the OLED are just the main features I've mentioned. Alongside this, the iPhones are probably also getting a better processor, generally better cameras, and also some design changes. However, I think this shouldn't really affect the price that much, hopefully. The Pro models, on the other hand, are also rumored to be getting a 120Hz display and also an additional camera sensor, a LiDAR sensor, on the back. Now, with these two features and the inclusion of 5G, I don't see how the iPhone prices could remain as they are. I would see them increasing perhaps maybe $50 to accommodate these changes. Now, my thoughts on the leaked prices. On the higher end, I could possibly see how Apple could keep the prices the same, since they aren't adding too many expensive features, and I believe that the profit margins on these higher models is already high enough that they could take a hit by keeping the prices the same and including these new features. On the lower end, however, there are two major features, OLED displays and 5G, which I believe are quite costly, and that leads me to believe that these prices are probably a bit too cheap. I believe that perhaps $50 more, so that the base iPhone 12 costs $700 and the iPhone 12 Max costs $800, would be a more appropriate pricing, because otherwise I believe that Apple would be losing a lot of profit. Now, there have been some rumors going around that this whole leaked cheap pricing of the iPhone 12 model this year has been part of a wider strategy by Apple to hurt the competition. So what people are saying is that when the iPhone originally launched with the $1,000 price tag, the iPhone 10, it caused all the other Android phones to increase their prices. As we have generally seen with the headphone jack, that Android phones tend to copy what Apple does. And in the next few years, Apple has kept their price the same or even lower. Meanwhile, Android phones have kept raising their prices. And this year, 2020, was when Apple was going to release their phones a lot cheaper, like we've seen in the leaked prices of the iPhone 12, the lower end models, and also the iPhone SE that we saw released this spring. Now, I believe that this is an interesting concept, and it could very well be true, as if Apple releases their phones at this cheap price tag, it could definitely hurt the competition since all Android phones are very expensive nowadays. On the other hand, I believe that the coronavirus has kind of damaged this plan of Apple's, and perhaps I'll make another video on this, but the main point is that I believe Apple were planning to release an iPhone SE Plus as well, but they couldn't because of the coronavirus, and that would have sold more as well. And also, the less people are buying phones this year because of the coronavirus, and this was the year that Apple was going to make their phones cheaper. So less people buying it means that Apple gets less of their iPhone sold, and this decreases the overall impact they would have had on the Android market share. Anyways, what do you think of these leaked prices, and do you believe they're correct, or do you think that the final actual prices will be higher? Let me know in the comments below. If you liked the video, make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you all next time.